You failed your citizen. Pan-Igbo activists condemn UK government silence on Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, today is December 9, 2025. This is Pan-Igbo activists condemning the UK government for keeping silent over Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention, or can I say life imprisonment. Well, they never intervened when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was facing trial. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya. Now when they say they don't sentence him to life imprisonment, now they won't talk. By now, I think it should be clear to everybody that what is happening is not just Nigerian matter. It is beyond that. Because these people too, they don't even want the Biafra nation. They are afraid. Because if Biafra comes today, you know what that means. Biafra will become the Japan in Africa. And these people, they are very jealous. They don't want anybody to stage with them. They don't want anybody to compete with them. And they know that Igbo people, they get talent. You understand? They are very creative people. So you see, the force that is fighting this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it's not just Nigeria. That is the truth. Because what we know these people for, anywhere their national is, no matter what it takes, they will look for you. But why is this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu like this? Nnamdi Kanu entered Kenya with Nigerian passport, right? Yes, with Nigerian passport. He did not enter Kenya with Nigerian passport. He entered Kenya with British passport. So why would they abandon their own? Okay, make it come be say, okay, he carry Nigerian passport to enter Kenya. That was the reason why they abandoned him. So you see, the whole thing is playing. And you should also ask yourself, how many times the UK ambassador in Nigeria has visited this matter or have visited Mazi Nnamdi Kanu there in Abuja? So this is not what somebody will say, okay, no, you don't know what is playing at. We should know better. So a coalition of Pan-Igbo self-determination activists, they have condemned the silence of the United Kingdom, the UK government, on the conviction and the sentencing of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. So the American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, Ambassadors for Self-Determination, ASD, and the Rising Sun Foundation, RSF, in a joint statement on Tuesday, accused the UK government of failing to protect its citizen. Kanu holds a British passport. After a trial that lasted several years, the IPOB leader was on November 20, 2025 convicted on terrorism charges filed against him by the Nigerian government. The Abuja Federal High Court, presided by Justice James Omotosho, which convicted the agitator, went ahead to sentence him to life imprisonment. Kanu is currently serving the prison term in the Sokoto Custodial Center of the Nigerian Correctional Service. So in a statement jointly signed by Dr. Sylvester Onya, AVID, Evans Nwankwo, ASD, and Maxwell Dede, RSF, the Pan-Igbo activists berated the UK government for not intervening in Nnamdi Kanu's case in the same manner it has been intervening in similar situations. Titled Public Briefing, Note on the UK Government Silence. Note on the UK Government Silence over the rendition, unlawful detention, and life imprisonment of British citizen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The statement described the silence of the British government as alarming and inconsistent. The statement said on November 20, 2025, Nigeria's Federal High Court, per Justice James Omotosho, sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, to life imprisonment under a repeal law, despite a binding court of appeal acquittal issued on October 13, 2022. Kanu's ordeal began with his illegal rendition from Kenya in June 2021, an operation executed without extradition proceedings in violation of the UK-Nigerian Extradition Treaty 2008, the European Convention on Extradition, the UN Convention Against Torture, Article 3, and Nigeria's domestic laws which bar trying rendition suspects. Despite the gravity of these violations and the fact that Kanu was adopted as a British passport holder broadcasting peacefully from London, where IPOB is legally registered. The UK government has issued no statement since the November 20 sentencing. So this silencing is unprecedented, alarming, and inconsistent with the Britain's global human rights posture. Expressing concern over the UK government's silence after Kanu's life sentence, the statement noted that the UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office last engaged Nigerian authority on 11 November 2025, urging fair trial, standard and secular access. It added that since the life sentence, there has been no statement, no preliminary briefing, no diplomatic protest, no sanctioning of Nigerian officials. This silence stands in stark contrast to the UK's response to cases involving less egregious violations. So the activists noted that the UK's indifference reached a tactics endorsement of a sham process. They further slammed the UK government for failing to provide protection for a British citizen adopted abroad. According to the statement, the UK has offered no explanation for its failure to condemn the international abduction of a citizen, denied compliance with the 2022 applicant discharge, rejects trial under a repeat terrorism law, and response to the fabricated claims in Omotosho's judgment, including false allegations that Kanu threatened UK/US missions. Implication is that the UK is failing its own citizen, violating its duty of diplomatic protection, the activist said, further accusing the UK government of selective application of rule of law standard. The statement observed that the UK has historically been vocal on cases involving detained activists such as a Russia guy, Alexei, and Enang San, and others. Yet, for Kanu, a British national facing rendition, torture, illegal detention, and conviction under a repeat law, the UK has chosen silence. The selective approach undermines British credibility as a champion of human rights and due process. So the activists further allege that the silence of the UK government is evidence of bias and hostility against the Igbos. We emphasize clearly the UK silence is evidence of ethnic hostility towards the Igbo. The Igbo diaspora perceives the UK's failure to protect Kanu, coupled with Omotosho's allegations of threats against the UK/US missions as part of pattern of calculating neglect, resentment of British 1967 to 1970 rule during the Biafran War.